You do know, hold on. You do know that sometimes I use the wrong word, and I just hope
Yes, on
that
purpose.
I no, sometimes it's on accident. And
Okay.
I just want to make sure that you don't think fewer of me. Hi there, and welcome to Hav and Charles Talk Comics, Season 4, Episode 7. I am one of your hosts, Charles Herring, and I am here with my very good friend and a man who dives mouth first into podcasting, Javier Gonzalez. Hi, Jav. How you doing?
Better now, Charles. I'm doing good. I'm doing great. Yeah, I like doing the pods. What can I say? And it involves my mouth.
Yes,
That's all there is to it.
it does.
So hey, we turned this around pretty darn fast.
We
Has it
did.
even been a week since we recorded last?
Yes, it has been exactly a week since we recorded last. We recorded last Tuesday.
Was it last Tuesday when we recorded? Okay,
Yes.
that shows what time fly. Time is weird. Okay, well there you go. Well that shows my perception of time is, as always, flawless. Has it really? I thought we recorded later last week for some reason.
Nope, we sure
You're
didn't.
looking at me like I. Okay. You're just like nope. So hey, guess what we're gonna do, Charles? We're gonna talk comics. I think.
Yeah, we should talk comics. We're going to talk two comics, and this is going to be a disjointed opening because we just had some possible technical difficulties.
I wish people could have seen the hand gestures you did there. It was like you were playing catch between your hands.
Yes,
So there's that.
yeah, but you're the one that won't let us do this on camera. So, all right. So,
Because anyways, go ahead.
we're going to talk about two comics. One comic that I suggested, which is a Spider-Man comic because I love Spider-Man, and it's Kraven's Last Hunt. And then a really cool comic that Hav suggested called ElephantMen. ElephantMen, and it's not about the Elephant Man, but although it is about elephant men and hippo men and crocodile men, possibly alligator men, I really liked it. I'll enjoy talking about that. And I'm also going to enjoy talking about the Spider-Man thing because it's Spider-Man and Spider-Man is awesome. So,
And it
Hav,
was just a cool Spider-Man run.
yeah.
So yeah, I got everything queued up here. So unlike our usual, whatever, unlike usually when mine is by far the oldest by a country mile, this one, yours, Spider-Man Craven's Last Hunt, came out in the Spider-Man titles of the time. The first issue, the first part of that run started in October of 1987, and then *ElephantMen* #1, an Image comic, came out in July 2006. So yours is first by a little bit, and we're going to talk about that one first.
Yes. So did you like it?
I loved it when I read it back then, which I did, and I remember why now after reading it. And I love rereading it now because there's so much in there that's so cool to read a little more closely, and it's like you've said before, reading things at different points in time, it's just fun and interesting, and you take different things away from it. I remember generally the story, that it was, Craven's Last Hunt, and I did not remember the ending. I knew Craven died, I think, at the end of it, but I didn't remember it being that graphic, for one.
Yeah,
So
it was
we'll
very
get to that.
graphic. Yeah.
So go ahead. Yeah.
No, it was very graphic. I remember a lot more of it just because there's a lot of times when you get a comic, a long running comic like Spider-Man or Superman or Batman, etc., there are touchstones that they go back to over and over and over again, and Kraven's Last Hunt is one of these. I mean, for Spider-Man, Kraven's Last Hunt, the Green Goblin killing Gwen Stacy, obviously Uncle Ben dying. These are things that come up and they repeat over and over and over again in different ways. They just recently did another Kraven's Last Hunt, and it was really funny because I read that in between when I was thinking about suggesting this first time and when we read it. And then when I suggested it, I read stuff from just at the end of the year last year through the Spider-Man title. They did something where evidently Osborn had the Green Goblin stuff taken away from him, and then Kraven and this Kraven's son, because Kraven is back to being dead. So he's dating this weird character whose name I don't know, and they managed to distill the Green Goblin stuff back in it, and they're going to shove it back into Norman Osborn, and they turn it into Peter Parker instead. So he kind of becomes the Green Goblin, or at least the madness, and he goes after Kraven's son, talking about, oh, you killed me, you killed me, you killed me, and this and that, and he puts him, I mean, they do kind of the whole thing in reverse, with him putting Kraven's son in a casket with a rifle in it with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because he's telling him, you're going to do what your dad did. You're going to kill himself and what your grandmother did. Because that's the whole thing with Kraven back in the comic we actually read this time, is he's talking about his dad was one of the last great aristocrats in Russia, and they came to the
flee
U.S.
Tsarist Russia.
Yes, and his mom, they said his mom was crazy, and it's a running theme. They keep having these. It was great because I loved all those little, just over and over and over again throughout the whole thing. The themes. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. Be the spider. I am the spider. Kill the spider. It's just these little one.
And Peter's not the spider. Peter Parker. It's just a mask. He's not the spider. Yes. It was. Stuff like that, did not remember at all. The mom being sick or mentally ill, that was one of my questions I had written down. So was she? I didn't know that she died by suicide. I was wondering was she committed to a mental institution, or I guess she did. Did you find out, or did you know? Had that something that was known in the continuity at that point, that Kraven's mother had died by suicide?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I absolutely don't know. He says it, and he then says, oh no, but they killed her, because in his head, he's kind of gone crazy. So he's got in his head that the spider is the cause of all his problems and all of everything's problems. It caused the unrest in the spider, and he knows these things because he knows about hunting in the deepest of Africa and these demons that are out there when you're in the hunt. And he's learned about these, and he thinks the spider is one of those.
And Peter, Spider-Man, is one of his targeted prey, or only prey that has gotten away, is the way I took it going into, reading this in context, that this is why this is his last hunt. And when he does this, he'll be at some sort of peace for him, I would guess. Yes. That he's done and he's finished his final hunt.
He was at peace.
And there's a couple references to that.
Yeah, he says it. He says, I won. I killed you. After this, I don't have to be Kraven anymore. I'll never hunt. He said, I'll never hunt again. And then he climbed into a coffin and shot himself. Very graphically. Very graphically. They did not.
And for especially for a comic book, and I'm almost positive this still had the seal on it. Yeah, very. And then he left a note, which presumably let the cops know. We're kind of fast forwarding to the end. Let the cops know that he had impersonated Peter's. Okay, so
yeah.
You haven't read this.
Let's go back. Yeah, it's fine that, but he Peter Parker and Mary Jane had just gotten married. Peter is out. He gets bit by a spider. He goes out or he kills a spider. I don't know. He has a dream, and he goes out and he gets drugged by Kraven. And I think he got drugged first, except he
with a dart.
Yeah, he gets darted, and then Kraven beats him in a fight, and then shoots him. And you think he's dead, and you're watching him bury him. They literally bury, not Peter Parker, because they never take him out of the mask. It is a tip-off that he didn't really get killed. One, because they're not killing him, but two, that he was completely still dressed in the black uniform, and they bury him, and he just
and speaking of that, go ahead. Sorry.
That's okay. What were you saying?
No, I was going to say, speaking of that, when they bury Peter, Spider-Man, but then Kraven's running around town in the black Spider-Man outfit, I thought he took the spider uniform, spider costume from Peter, but I very much remember the iconic panel splash page of Peter coming up through the grave. So I was all sorts of confused if I was misremembering or, Kraven can make another Spider-Man outfit.
Yeah,
And that's all I was thinking of. Go
yeah,
ahead.
Kraven made a Spider-Man outfit. But the thing you get down into is Peter was dead for 2 weeks or gone for 2 weeks. And Mary Jane is losing her fucking mind to the point where she goes to Joe Robertson, Joe Robertson,
Editor of the Beagle.
editor of the Daily Bugle. And because she's pretty
Beagle.
sure.
Did I say Beagle?
You may have. We're off, so it's
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm getting yours at a slight delay still. So they are. She actually goes to his apartment at like 1 a.m. in the morning to talk to him because she wants to ask him about Peter being Spider-Man because she's pretty damn sure. And it's kind of this, it's never been said in the comic books, but it kind of seems like he does know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And he just ain't saying it. He's not even looking at it. He's not even breathing heavy because he works in a newsroom and he doesn't want some jackass journalist to grab it and out Peter because he knows him, he likes him. And so she dances around it and then she decides, oh no, I can't talk to him about this, and leaves freaking out. She also gets attacked earlier by a group of guys, and Spider-Man saves her, and then she's like, oh wait, and then she takes a look at him because he doesn't react to her at all when she makes him stop because he's about to kill the guys, and it tips her off that that's completely not him. And then there was the scene, literally right the thing, because I read this for the second time in the last month because I did read it beforehand, and right as she's still standing there looking, that's when Vermin comes up out of the sewer and sees her and decides, oh no, I have to get the spy, I have to follow the spider, hungry, but I have to follow the spider. So he had fixated on Mary Jane. And I looked at that. I did not even see that the first time. I don't think I saw that, or the first recent reading. I don't think I saw that part when I was a kid reading it either. So it was just like, holy crap. Everything in this comic is just such a tight 6 issues.
I, for some reason, thought it was a 4-issue arc. I'm not sure why. And when it was 6, I was like, okay. But sure enough, flew through it. There's a lot of sequential storytelling that is not laden with a lot of verbiage, unnecessary verbiage, as opposed to a lot of comics back in that time period of mid to late 80s. This is sparsely worded by the creatives. So it's J.M. DeMatteis, is how am I going to say it? He, of course, is one of my writers from my favorite run on Justice League International and Justice League from the same time period. By the way,
take that back,
which is interesting. And then Mike Zeck, who, yeah, I know, this must be killing you. And then Mike Zeck and Bob McLeod, Mike Zeck doing the pencils, McLeod doing the inks. Mike Zeck, by the way, was I'm pretty sure, this is just from memory because I did not Googleize it, he did the art, covers, pencils for Batman 10 Nights of the Beast, or however many nights it was, or as you like to crack yourself up saying, the Beast with 2 backs. You look, you're trying not to laugh right now. So that the creatives on it, heavy hitters, both great. And something maybe you can speak to. Oh, I want to mention this. The reason this was very much in my wheelhouse back then was because I remember being keenly aware that the marriage of Mary Jane and Peter Parker was upcoming in an annual from back around then. Maybe it was the annual in 1986. I definitely picked that up. And leading up to that, I think I had started picking up at least Amazing Spider-Man back then, which had Ron Frenz doing the art and Tom DeFalco well before he was, I think, editor-in-chief at some point in Marvel, doing the writing on Amazing. And I'd read like an arc with Silver Sable, I remember, and like a group of bad guys that ganged up on Peter in an amusement park that is just stuck in my memory. And I really liked Ron Frenz's Spider-Man, and to this day do think he's one of the top 3 or 5 Spider-Man artists of all time. So that's why when this came out, I think I read when it was in Amazing for the first time with that iconic cover of Kraven on top of the grave, like, yelling at the storm in the dark. and then had to go back and find the first issue because this ran through all the Spider-Man titles back then. Web of Spider-Man 31, Amazing Spider-Man 293. Then you got Spectacular Spider-Man 131, Web of Spider-Man 32, Amazing 294, back to Spectacular 132, and there you go. I think that's it. Anyways, so, but 6 issues, it sure didn't feel like 6 issues.
No, it didn't. It didn't. And that it was different too because they actually ran the story through those 3 instead of kind of having a different thing going on in all of those. Because this was back in my time. This is right nearing the end of when I read comic books because I was in 9th grade and I did not read comic books once I got to high school because we had junior high. So I was in 9th grade and junior high. And
Gotcha.
that actually, I'm pretty sure it all got done before. Well, no, never mind, because I'm pretty sure I read comic books throughout the summer of between junior high and high school. So yeah, never mind.
Okay.
Yeah, that was. I did still love me some comic books, but absolutely one of the. I having reread it, I remember reading it. It's touchstone. The whole just gleefulness of Kraven having succeeded in winning. But I was thinking about it today and I meant to go look it up because I can't remember Kraven's origin right off the top of my head. I swear it's just that he came to New York to fucking hunt Spider-Man.
I think so. I think you're right. I think his first appearance was an amazing. Back in the day.
Like early on, he's one of the first heroes or villains. But I mean, he's not even a villain. He's just he's a bad dude, and
a wackadoo.
Yeah, and a wackadoo. But he's acting like he's been this horrible thing to me, dude. You just came out to kill him originally, and you're blaming him because he kicks your ass. I mean,
Yes, get this. His first appearance, you thought it was early. I don't know if you thought it was this early.
I did.
Amazing Spider-Man number 15.
Yeah, no, I did.
Stan Lee and Steve Ditko.
Yeah, but in fairness, I read one of the reasons I suggested we do a podcast was I was listening to a podcast number of years ago, and they started out, it was called Screw It, we're just going to talk about Spidey, and they did the original because they're right around our age, and I mean, one's older than me, one's younger than me, and they're around, and they did the original Stan Lee Ditko run, the whole thing, each comic. So
wow, that's right. You told me about.
And
this
I read it. I would read it and listen to it. I was like, "What the hell?" Because I had Marvel Unlimited, and I was like, "Okay, this is fun." So I would read it and then I'd listen to whichever podcast. So that's why I was really aware that he came out like really early. He's been one of the main people, and just like a lot of them, he's an animal. He's an animal like he's an animal because we had Octopus and the Green Goblin, and the Goblin's clearly a real animal. Shut up, Hop. And
lizard. And,
yes, the lizard.
You know, Electro guy is obviously the animal of electricity.
Yes.
You know, whatever that guy is.
Well, he's an electric eel.
There you go.
Yes.
Just little known fact. He's actually the electric eel man.
He's just the electric eel man.
Shortened to Electro for brevity.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Electric eel man would be dumb. Yeah.
That's so dumb. You were talking about Joe Robertson is what we settled on,
yes.
I think. Editor, longtime second to publisher, J. Jonah, J. Jamison.
Triple J. J cubed.
J cubed to the umpteenth degree.
Yes.
Him knowing Spider, there's almost that implicit, he knows, but no, he's never going to say anything and never come out and say it. Made me think of the whole, maybe not that hidden or veiled, the whole Commissioner Gordon knowing Batman's Bruce Wayne, vice versa, but never coming out and saying it and them never discussing it.
Yeah.
Of course, we know that he knows it when last Dark Knight Returns, obviously in that universe, if you will, he knows, but in the regular DC continuity, whatever you want to call that. It's kind of implied. Just it reminded me of that. I just wanted to point out that kind of parallel.
Yeah.
Between the two. What else? Oh, Vermin. I remember reading it back then and being fascinated with the character even back then. And then reading it this time, I'm like, this is a really fascinating character.
Yeah.
I've never seen Vermin in anything else, and that just might be my lack of reading of Spider-Man. Yeah. Have you?
I've read a lot of Spider-Man, so I think I've seen him before. He's never been really a villain that I really like, but I really liked what was done with him here. And by the way, when I was young, I don't think I got that he was eating those women.
No. Oh, good point. I didn't. You know what?
It just glossed over it because they kind of did it off, and then it was a side. They're calling him and I'm like, oh my Lord. Including, by the way, I really noticed it today, and I didn't notice it before. There was a rib cage that he was he had a rib cage there. So I mean, oh my Lord. And then he can control the rats somehow. That's really weird. He can
control the rats, and then that one cop. So there's he comes to the surface at one point. Or surface. Yeah. He comes to the surface at one point.
Both ways.
I think it's regional. I think it's more Canadian to say surface.
Yeah.
You know, they're weird up there, you know, and friendly. Vermin comes I correct myself. Vermin comes to the surface. I don't know if you remember those panels, that scene with the cops.
Yes.
One female, one male, and one of the cops reminds him of mommy or mom or mother.
That was.
And he lays a big lick kiss on her.
Yeah, that wasn't a kiss. He licked her face, dude.
And freaks her the fuck out, and then leaves.
It freaked me the fuck out.
I did not remember that either. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So he's got mommy issues. Yeah. And I wanted to know, did you know anything about Vermin's? I did not do the Google.
No, I didn't.
About Vermin's backstory or anything. Because I was like, oh my God.
Evidently, Baron Zemo, he was a normal person until Baron Zemo ran experiments on him. And then remember, he did fight against, when he got beat the last time, it was with Captain Flag and Spider-Man.
Yes. Yes.
I am so proud of you, by the way.
What?
You didn't correct me.
Oh, Captain Flag?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, it's in the comic.
I know.
He calls him Captain Flag.
I know, but...
Yeah, I know. I hate stuff that's I got to correct or...
No, I know, but you do know. You do know. Hold on. You do know that sometimes I use the wrong word, and I just hope...
Yes, on purpose.
No, sometimes it's on accident. And I just want to make sure that you don't think fewer of me.
I see what you're doing, and I love it. And you just keep on being you. You just keep on swinging for the fences. You dream the dream. You dream the dream. Yes, you can. I don't know. Well, I was going to say something you completely threw. Oh. You know, when things are like askew, like if there's something in the corner of a table and it's square, but it's off, I got to square it up. It's a hang up. It's not good.
That's fine.
Or if something's, if there's lines on a table, for example, and there's a piece of paper and it's like at an angle, but it could be straight with it. There's issues there.
So what you're saying is if you're not straight, you're going to fix it.
Oh my God! No, that's not what I'm saying. Jeez.
So Hav thinks the only right way to be is straight. At least it's no longer Pride Month, man.
Okay. Ha 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 ha. Oh, blah, blah, ha ha ha. I don't know. Okay, so I had to Googleize it real fast. Vermin was created by a geneticist working for Baron Zemo and Armin Zola.
Fucking Nazis.
Created in 1982 in Captain America by J.M. DeMatteis and Mike Zeck.
Well, there you go. They want to use their own character.
They were like, hey, why hasn't anybody used this great character we created, 5 years ago?
Yeah, why has Ratman not been around that much?
Yeah, why? Because, I mean, you did point out he is animal-based. That's right in Spidey's wheelhouse of this.
Yes.
I know some of them aren't, obviously, but a lot of them are, kind of gross, buggy, lizardy, octopus, rat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just kind of cool.
Yeah, it is.
So there's that.
There is that.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I took away from
you were
this one.
you were talking about how when they did it, when you were reading it, you knew that the wedding was coming up. This is after the wedding, and the only reason I am especially since she's talking about Peter was supposed to come over here and help me move into his apartment. It's like, yeah, then they are definitely married because they ain't gonna
No. That's why this was on my radar.
Yeah. But
no, because I had read the wedding issue and then was like, "Yeah, this is kind of cool. I'm going to keep on reading a little bit."
So, going back, I saw something and I noticed it about a month ago when I read it, and then I noticed it again today when I was just rereading it really quick. I was talking about touchstones that they do in the comics, and the big character comics when they've got a lot of history and they go back to it. At the end, during the end of this, when Kraven has already won, he mentions that he won. He became what he was done, and he was superior to Spider-Man, and they even used the word superior. And then we got the whole, and that clicked with me like, oh my God, it's the superior Spider-Man with Doc Ock. He took his place. It is that arc. Except it went on longer. He was really dead. And Doc Ock actually learned that no, he wasn't the superior Spider-Man, which if Kraven had done it longer, he would have realized. But he didn't really become Spider-Man the way Doc Ock did. And we have not read Superior Spider-Man yet, have we?
You've mentioned it before.
Oh, my God.
And I know you will probably suggest it here in the not too distant future. But we did... You know what? I did learn a lot about Superior Spider-Man because over the winter break that we had, or holiday break, whatever you want to call it, between seasons, we had talked about reading, and I'm blanking on the tome. It was a pretty long, lengthy...
Spider-Verse.
Was it? It was just called Spider-Verse. I think. Yeah, it was like...
The Spider-Verse.
And that's when all the different...
Yes. When they had the whole... The Inheritors, and yes, it was a great... It's great, but yes,
it was awesome.
Superior
from
Spider-Man
that contextually, I learned Superior Spider-Man, Doc Ock inhabiting Peter's body is in there.
Yeah, he killed.
You know,
he swapped their essences, their brains basically from bodies, and Peter literally died in his body, and then he took over his body. But then, yeah, it was. That was one of those.
We do eventually need to talk about that.
Yeah, and that was one of my favorite things. When Dan Slott that came out, people freaked out. They were like, because Dan Slott and Marvel were like, yeah, and it's just going to be Spider-Man from then on. And everybody's like, no, you can't do that. And I had just kind of gotten, that was back when I was really getting back into reading comics again. And I was laughing. It made me laugh so hard because I'm reading that and I'm going, of course the marketing people are saying, yeah, it's permanent. There's no way in hell it's permanent.
When Superman died, he was dead forever. And same with Cap. And Thor was always going to be a woman.
Thor always should be a woman.
Maybe. That's maybe accurate. Or a frog. Or a female frog. I don't know. I could see that too.
That's true. I just want Thor to be a woman who I'd like to have sex with, or a frog I'd like to have sex with. So, I mean, you're right.
You said it, not me. Let's just make sure everybody's clear on that.
Well, that's fine. I edit these
I wanted
things,
to ask
so
you
that won't be in here.
At the beginning of the first issue of this arc story, there's the death of Joe Face, and Ned Leeds is a big guy that had who you could please educate me because I did not Googleize that. Ned Leeds was apparently a big character. Peter.
Ned Leeds was a
he
huge
a bad
character.
Guy?
No, Ned Leeds was okay. So here's the thing: is Ned Leeds a bad guy? And this time period, at some point, they think he was a bad guy. Ned Leeds is a character that came along and ended up marrying Peter's first love interest, the much older woman who worked at the Daily Bugle, whose name, oh man, it kills me,
Betty Brant. I just Googled him. Betty
Yes,
Brant.
Betty Brant. They end up getting married. Now, comic books. So there was a character called the Hobgoblin who was kind of a takeover from the Green Goblin because the Green Goblin is
I
dead
remember
at
that
this
character. I
point.
like that character.
Yes,
Yeah.
one of the big mysteries was who is the Hobgoblin. The person that created the Hobgoblin knew who it was and ran this long arc about it. That person stopped writing Spider-Man. So someone else came along and he had put in, by the way, if you go back now, that if you know, because it's come back and they've done the full arc and they've done it and he's admitted who it is, he was leaving clues all over the damn place. But they made Ned Leeds seem like it because the Hobgoblin kidnapped him, drugged him, and put him in the suit. So everybody thought Ned Leeds was the Hobgoblin. And then I can't remember how he dies, but I think he dies as the Hobgoblin or due to all of that stuff. And it was confusing as hell. So legitimately, I thought he was the Hobgoblin. And it was fascinating, all of the things going on. And then later on, they come out and figure out who it was. And then you look back and you go, oh man, that was so glaringly obvious. But it's one of those things that it's only glaringly obvious when there's not so much else going on. It's the hindsight is 2020 kind of thing.
You're right. Okay, well,
and it was Kingsley.
Peter's all broken up over Ned Leeds, but then this other guy, Joe Face, dies, and they're having a funeral. Do you remember that at the beginning?
I do. I did read this.
So it's a cool sequence of panels, and Joe, I think his name was Joe Face. Anyway, dies like without two nickels to rub together, and they have a pine box. It looks like, and some of his friends.
They do it. The criminals. This is the bar with no name. They're at the bar with no name, which is the place that not the high end bad guys, but the low end. But the lower. The Shocker will drink there. That's where the Shocker goes to drink, and Marco might drop in if he's not doing stuff. But Doc Ock really doesn't hang out there, and the goons. If this were the DC universe, it would be where you'd get the hired goons, hired goons. But and henchmen, the Marvel guys don't seem to really have goons and henchmen like that,
except for like the big organizations.
Well,
like every bad guy has their own goons, but unless you're like AIM or Hydra,
but like, they might grab a crew, but they don't necessarily have goons or henchmen.
Like Doc Ock doesn't have his own little
he doesn't have that's right
following him around.
So
like the Joker.
But so they're at the bar with no name, and they had a whip around to bury their friend because that's all that you could ask for is get enough money to buy him a piece of land and a pine box, and put him in the thing. And Spider-Man shows up and scares the shit out of him because he's in that black costume. Mm-hmm. By the way, I do want to talk about that black costume.
Is it the symbiote?
No, it's not.
Or do we know?
Not. It's past the symbiote.
Okay.
No, it's past the symbiote. Okay. But that's where the problem comes in. He's still wearing this fucking costume, and this costume terrifies Mary Jane because the symbiote and he terrified her to this huge point, and he continues to wear the fucking costume because Marvel wants him to wear the costume. So they make him... Peter Parker's one of the nicest guys in the world. In reality, he wouldn't wear that fucking costume anymore.
Dude, the costume looked really cool.
I understand.
It was a freaking cool costume.
I get it. But still, I'm just saying, he just stopped wearing it. It probably also works better at night, by the way.
Right? Instead of a bright red and blue.
Yeah.
On the skylight, on the skyline.
Yeah.
In Manhattan. What else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else I got. I just remember that part being touching.
It was because he's choked up about these people. Well, Jesus, fuck all the people that keep dying. And he goes through the people he's dying, and then when he's freaking out, he's talking about then it's going to be Mary Jane, then it's going to be Aunt May and everybody me? I know, and then me. Well, he'd rather it be him than them because he's just so tired of literally everybody around him dying. And then Mary Jane's freaked out about it. So
I don't know if this is storytelling 101, but it is very much bookended by death. You're starting out with the funeral death of Joe Face, and you're ending with pretty. I mean, I think there's a little kind of epilogue with Vermin, but the death of Kraven,
Yes,
by suicide, and for a spider. I know there have been before this and since then very dark Spider-Man stories, but this was very well done, very dark. You're right. I did not remember the cannibalism of the Vermin character, and then the ending for Kraven being so graphic. It just very well done, and now J.M. DeMatteis is not only one of the best Justice League writers, but also one of the best Spider-Man writers of all time. So there's that too.
in fairness, he probably is one of the best Justice League writers.
Oh. Hey, so where is this on your top whatever? I'm not holding you to anything, but is this one of your favorite Spider-Man stories, if you will? Especially not like a long, like year-long, 2-year-long Odyssey, like an in and out 6-issue thing, or where does this rank for you? I'm just kind of curious because you're very much more. I'm not a Spider-Man aficionado. I dare say expert. I mean, where does this rank on your Spider-Man list of stories?
I would say that it ranks pretty high after having just reread it. It is especially. By the way, you notice one of the things with the only close thing you said it wasn't as wordy for stuff from that time. That's literally this is a comic that I would not be shocked to see written now as an event thing with a really good writer. This is a really, really good, a really tight comic, and it just incredibly well done. So I would say it's up there with the stuff I've read. I really
it holds up incredibly well.
Yes, it does.
And you saying that there's not. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's not a lot. It's one of those comics that's I don't. Yeah, people throw around timeless, but there are. You could see this being written now. You could read it now, and there's not a lot of context of technology isn't very prevalent, So
yeah. I mean now she's probably tracking his suit and finding him in a grave, and Mary Jane sends Reed Richards or somebody to get him because he's going to have a tracker or something. I mean, I would have, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I got you.
No, they still wouldn't do it that way. I'm just saying, technology wise, it'd be easier to find him. It'd be easier to. Where's he going? What happened?
Before we move on, hasn't Sony talked about? They're just like they did with Venom and with Morbius. Haven't they talked about doing like a Kraven solo movie or some type?
I think that fell through, or it's still going on, and I have no fucking. That this is the thing. They have the rights to this world. And they are determined to mine as much out of it as they can. But none of these... Okay, I haven't watched the Venom movies. Evidently, some people like them. I've thought about watching them, although Caesar
the first one's okay.
Well, Caesar kind of gives you shit about liking it. So I go back and
I like
forth
everything,
on it.
though. I like everything.
You do. And that's fine. That's one of the great things about you. But I've never watched one of the Venom movies. I laughed because Cindy said, Madam Web's on Netflix. I was like, yeah, don't watch that.
I need to watch that. I have not watched. Have you seen it?
Oh God, no. I will not watch any ancillary Spider-Man characters like that.
That don't have Spider-Man in it. Like, why do that and not have Spider-Man in it?
Well, I mean, even beyond that, because they'd have to use a whole nother Spider-Man, or they'd want to use another Spider-Man. They want to have this whole Marvel Universe thing, but they can't have the Marvel Universe because they're trying to make movies out of villains. Kraven is a villain. And I know everybody seems to like anti-heroes and stuff like that, but the key to an anti-hero is they're also doing some good while they do it. And maybe Venom eventually does, but Kraven's not a good guy.
Have you seen the Joker movie?
Well, I don't know
how much good he does there.
No, I haven't. By the way, I have not seen the Joker movie, and I'm not really planning to. But you,
Tangent. This is a huge tangent because
Yeah.
Morbius is a great bad movie. I will let you know. I have seen it. And I think me and you and Caesar were texting when
No. We told you to live tweet it, and you did.
I did, but then also that Sony apparently doesn't understand sarcasm on social media when
God, when-
everybody was raving about it and they re-released it. Like it lasted in the theater for like a matter of weeks.
And then
there was all this buzz.
Oh, it was such making fun of it too. It wasn't even real. I mean, it was brilliant. It was like, oh my God, they're dunking on this movie so hard in such a sarcastic way that Sony's like, they really love it. Put it back in the theaters. Oh, it bombed.
And then it bombed. I wonder if it's the only major theatrical release by a major studio to be released twice within months, if not a month or two of the original, and bomb twice at the theater. It's amazing.
You would think it would have to be, right? Because if it did well and there was and then you bring them back when sometimes, I guess, it made no damn sense. Re-release it. Oh yeah, it still sucks.
Yeah. Oh, hey, what happened to these numbers there?
Yeah,
oh.
I hear now that Disney took over Fox, they're going to re-release Dark Phoenix.
There you go. I'll be camping out. You guys can bring me like some soup, and I'll be camping out first in line. And when they decide to do Inhumans,
we'll bring you
or not Inhumans. When they do Eternals. Release it. That's what they should do. They should do a double feature.
If you go camp out to watch a re-release of Dark Phoenix, Caesar and I will have you committed.
That'd be awesome. First of all, they would never do that. But
No,
if they did,
I'm just
for the bit. I would do that.
Oh yeah, I know.
I would camp out, and Julie would probably have me committed too. Like, you're what? No, people know. What if somebody recognizes you?
You could end up on TV, man.
Oh yeah, that'd be true. Julie would love that.
And you can just buy your ticket online now with your seat. And
No,
you don't have to. And they're only going to sell the one ticket.
Local mediocre lawyer Javier Gonzalez has been camping out for a week, waiting for the re-release of Dark Phoenix, Eternals, Madam Web, Morbius, you name it. Superman, which one was it with Richard Pryor? Superman 3 or 4?
Oh, I will maintain that one was good. Superman 4 was the bad one. Superman 3 was at least fun.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah, I haven't, you know what? I say that I haven't the Quest for Peace.
I don't think I've ever seen that. That's how.
I was at the theater to see
Okay,
that.
so but I saw the first 3 and loved them. The funny thing is too, the one that holds up the best is absolutely the first one.
Okay, I like the second one. I mean, there's the Richard Donner cut that's the first two kind of together. Because they were kind of supposed to be made together, but then Richard Donner got anyways.
Yes.
No, the first one's awesome. They both are. 1 and 2. I prefer 2. That's just me.
I used to prefer 2, and then I've watched both of them in the last 15 years or so, and I thought the first one then was better, because it used to be that was oh my God, this is the first sequel that's better than the first one, but the first one was okay. But of course, it's also difference of what you're looking for in a movie, and I kind of like the whole beginning story of Superman. Anywho, we have gone far asunder from what we were talking about. So I think we can both agree Spider-Man, greatest comic book character ever.
You can say that. Yes, you can. You can say that. Hey, so we also read a comic book I suggested. Or do we have anything on the in-between?
No, we do not. I mean, if you would like to send us an email, we have a website called havandcharles.com. And you can click on a link at the top that says send Hav an email, and then it will send me a email that I may or may not send to Hav, and we'll read it on the pod.
Because I'm not allowed to use the email for the website anymore after the thing. So
yeah, HR stepped in.
And then also I am Charles is on the Blue Sky at Herring Red, right?
Correct.
Just Herring Red.
Yes.
And then I'm Hav Gonzo on Blue Sky. I am still on the Twitter at Hav Gonzo Tweets. And Charles is still on the Twitter at Herring Red Real.
Yes.
So there's that too. But honestly, the easiest way to get a hold of us or to click on old podcasts or new podcast for that matter, or email us, is to go to the website, havandcharles.com.
Yes.
So there's all that.
And we also have JCTC on Blue Sky.
That's right.
That's the
Yeah.
there is a whopping three followers. 3 followers.
Boom.
I bet you can guess 2 of them. So if any of y'all are on Blue Sky and would like to follow JCTC, that would be awesome, because I would like to increase the following share by at least 1. I'd like 4 followers.
Maybe, hey, 2 double digits would be nice. I don't think that a lot of people are on the Blue Sky. I think a lot of people are on Twitter.
Yes.
Or what used to be known as Twitter, and then nobody's really. I think a lot of the comic book aficionados have migrated over to Blue Sky, but I get a feeling like there's just a lot of people that are just like, I don't care. I'm just going to stay on Twitter.
Yeah, I think so.
So,
all right. So Hav suggested a wonderful comic that I had never heard of called ElephantMen, and I quite enjoyed it. So Hav, did you enjoy that comic?
I did. And this is when I was reading comics again on the regular in the early to mid 2000s. And remember, this is one where I don't even know if if Wizard Comics was even still around back then. I don't think it was. I just remember, I seem to think this is when I saw on the stand at my local comic book shop and was like, what's this? And just like, I'll pick it up. And then was in for a few months or a year of comics at least. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I was not pleasantly surprised. I'm not surprised. I was just glad that I still like it and liked it even more maybe on reread. And it holds up pretty good. And when I suggested it, this is another example of me thinking time is weird. I didn't know it was I thought, this was not that long ago. Yeah, it's 18 years ago, so it's a little while ago now, which time just is weird.
Oh, wow.
Because it doesn't feel like it was 18 years ago when it came out, but sure enough it was.
The comic book can vote now.
Exactly. In some countries it can drink. So yeah, really, Image Comics 2006, it ran for 80 issues, and it was written by Richard Starkings. And in this run you saw this artist that I don't remember seeing anything since, Moritat, Moritat, was the big artist on it.
The art is incredible.
Yes.
I mean, just amazing art. I mean, this is a comic about manufactured humans that are basically elephant men. It is hippo men. It is rhinoceros men, crocodile men, and they're gigantic. Giraffe men and zebra, and they're huge, and they are drawn as the art actually makes them look real in a way that still a comic book, but just
surprisingly well.
It's just incredibly well. Yes.
So there's this crazy, guess what? It's comic book trope. Crazy renegade, wild-ass scientist in this Dr. Nikken, Nikken, is breeding human-animal hybrids in Africa. He's using, you find out, this is Image Comics, mid-2000s, women that do not survive the birth of these hybrids.
They actually, that's not quite true. They appeared to have survived. A lot of them are surprised, but he's disposing of them anyway.
Oh, well, maybe he's killed. Well, then maybe that's what's happening then.
Yeah, because
the hybrids. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, some of them seem to, because they keep going back and forth from the real time in the comic book to back and forth. There's a lot of jumping back and forth. I probably should have read it twice, because read it through once and then read it again and break it out, but I didn't, because I time short betwixt and work and things. But I think some of the women were alive, because we get into that where Savannah's mom, and I swear, and then they said, okay, we'll dispose of the dispose of the woman at the end of it, because they're like, oh, it was hard on them, but because I think they're delivering him through C-section, so yeah, they could have lived.
No,
But
you know what? That's a very good point. So I did Googleize this. They're all African animal species, including warthogs, elephants, camels, zebras, rhinos, hippos, giraffes, hyenas, and crocodiles. The company that Dr. Neekin has is called Mappo,
yes,
Mappo,
Mappo is your god.
and it is very much illegal.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, at some point, the UN or UN nations shut it down. Take the ElephantMen, as they're collectively called, even though all of them are not elephant-human hybrids. Try their best to rehabilitate them. They were very much bred, conditioned from birth, childhood, if you want to call that, very much brainwashed, conditioned to be killing machines.
Yes.
And I don't know if Neekin's plan was to like sell them or use them to conquer the world.
Yeah.
You don't find that out right away.
Yeah, I am very, very disappointed that this is only available on Amazon like that, or for purchase, because I bought it just because
you
it was
did?
easier.
Okay.
Yeah, it was easier. Don't regret it. Awesome. But
Okay.
I want to read more, and I don't want to drop $15 every time I read a volume.
Well, and there are a few volumes. I want to say I looked it up, and there's at least four. No, more than that. Maybe 6 or 7 or 8 different volumes of the whole run. I mean, that makes sense. It's 80
Yeah.
issues,
Yeah,
and it's
because
you get dropped in. Go ahead.
well, we just got deep enough to start figuring out what's going on in it. I mean, we introduced
It's
some
so
characters,
good.
and they were interesting, and the world is interesting, and I just want to know more about it. And I'm pissed off that it's not on Hoopla. No, I'm not really pissed off, but you get what I mean. I'm like, what the ever loving fuck?
I'm shocked it's not on Hoopla, and I will tell everybody out there, if you have read it or haven't read it, and want to read more, if you have Amazon Prime, Comixology is part and parcel, just like you get to free a certain amount of free music, and you get Amazon Prime Video. This is one of the many. I know it's $100 a year. Don't get me wrong, $100 or more. I think it's $110 now, $120. $120 is $120. But I tell you what, for free delivery, and then all the ancillary stuff, like the Amazon Prime. I sound like I'm shilling for Amazon, but I was very happy that this was available in Comixology, which is included in your Amazon Prime subscription. So that's one of the best compliments anybody can give, especially you, Charles, saying that this left you wanting to read more, because that means you really liked it.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought on my reread, tell me if you like the kind of noirish.
Oh yeah,
You get hippo. The hippo is Hip Flask, and he's obviously some kind of almost private investigator.
Well, yeah, they're
sleuth.
sort of government agents, because they have a
Right.
they have a handler. They're supposed to do things that they want, and he and the elephant guy are kind of investigating some stuff that's still going on. That maybe, well, we do know, was it Camel? The camel guy saved
Their abuser.
their abuser.
Yeah.
And he's out
Yeah.
there, and he is still beholden to the abuser, and it's sad because he should
probably
just
because
kill
of the
him.
conditioning, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely because of the conditioning. But still, it's just I said it was sad, Hoff, sad.
No,
That's
I
sad.
know.
No.
Ebony is the elephant. Hip is the
Hippo.
hippo. Thank you. You get the horn guy. The rhino is like the billionaire Lex Luthor of the group.
Yeah, and
That is now
do we think
dating.
Savannah going to marry Savannah, who is
Which is
evidently the daughter of one of the women that disappeared and was used
Yes.
to breed one. And they know it's not him. I got the feeling it was Hippo, right?
I think so. Well, because there's a photo of at the very end of Hip Flask, the hippo, on his desk with Savannah.
Yeah. I think
And
they're
so-
brother and sister.
They're either brother and sister or they're exes. Is what I was wondering.
Oh yeah, well, I hope
I don't remember. I want to say brother and sister. There was a spin-off series. Hip Flask, the hippo, had a spin-off series.
Oh, really?
By the way,
Okay.
and so look, I remember this fondly, and I remember trying to really think of something to suggest that was kind of out of the norm for me. And for some reason, this flashed in my head. I was like, you know what? Yeah, that'd be great. And I was so disappointed. I was surprised that it was not on Hoopla. And then I was happy that it was on Comixology, at least for me. And then, of course, I didn't pay for it, because it was included. I'm sorry you had to pay for it, but
No,
hopefully
it's
it
fine.
was worth it.
No, I don't mind. We get so much free from the public library, and I can't believe you did a goddamn advertisement for Amazon Prime. But whatever.
Well, hey, if there's one thing Amazon needs...
Dude, you should fucking pay me for doing an advertisement. I'm cutting that whole thing out, just so we know. We're not advertising. No.
Well, I was going to say what Amazon really needs, because, poor Jeff Bezos, he's suffering. I mean, he's I always feel bad for the rich white men, in society, because you're so persecuted and downtrodden. Anything I can do to help them feel better about themselves, I feel like it's my responsibility to bolster them up. Couple things before. Look, they do set up a lot in this, but there's not. It's more just getting you, I think, fairly acclimated to this world without beating you over the head and overloading you.
Oh yeah,
with stuff. It's set 200 years in the future. They pretty much say it's 22 something. I am not a fan of the giving a specific year, although in this instance, 200 years in the future is, I think, far enough in the future for us, because I hate when, like, I'm rewatching Starseed, the Star Trek episode, and Khan is from the year 1992. I was like, oh shoot,
yeah.
Hurts
well,
my suspension of disbelief.
But they've also retconned it, because every time. Well, I know, but I literally saw something recently talking about that, because they've gone back in the recent ones, and every time the way it's explained, somebody was breaking down the canon on this. Every time they go back in time in Star Trek, it kind of rejiggers when all of this stuff happened. So, like, Khan just gets further and further in the future.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
For my purposes,
so I think the last time it was 2024 when Khan's around. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, good. Well, I just like in the not too distant future or in the future, and just leave it really general and let everybody use their imagination as to how far in the future, because I would also say, I'm going to use that from now on.
Okay.
There's, in this, on purpose or not, on reread, I got a lot of a Blade Runner sensibility vibe from the visuals in the comic, if that makes sense.
Okay.
The dark, the gritty, kind of always raining. Well, it's not dystopian, but it's not great.
Well, that's noir.
And I was going to ask you if you like the noir stuff.
Yeah, you already did, and I said yes. But that's what I'm saying. But what you're describing is the noir. That's Blade Runner was futuristic noir.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's noir in the future. It is that, and you have you had a hard-boiled detective, and
yes.
In Decker, although he's not a detective, but no, he's detecting replicants, so I guess he is a detective.
Let's see, you got Obadiah Horn is a rhinoceros. That's the billionaire the protests about a elephant man marrying a woman, and you got all the zealots out there, and this is an abomination. Unfortunately, very still timely.
Oh yeah.
With stuff like that.
Well, that was they were interviewing Savannah and Rhinoceros Man, and they were asking.
Did you remember who was interviewing them?
No.
You didn't get that? Katie Couric and Matt Lauer?
No,
it was Katie and Matt.
Oh, okay. No. Well, he also killed them because he didn't like what was going on. He didn't like the interview. But the question they were asking, will you have children? He's like, but it's illegal for us to have children. You know the answer to that. Why are you asking? It's illegal. And they're like, well, would you make them change the law? I mean, they changed the law to let you all get married. And it's like, okay, assholes. So then he had them killed.
Off panel.
Off panel, yeah. Well, no, yeah.
Accidents happen.
Oh yeah, they should never have flown in this weather.
Yeah, 200 years in the future. I just like that they're taking jabs at Matt Lauer, who of course had his fall from grace.
Yes.
After this, and then did you like the Howard Stern character?
Yes, I did like the Howard Stern character.
Yeah.
Although
so I thought that was
I've never been a Howard Stern fan.
me neither. Like I never tuned in, and I don't.
I never
I
got it.
I never understood, and if my brother does listen, like my brother subscribes to XM Sirius. I've never quite understood subscribing to radio.
Yeah.
There's enough free stuff out there, Spotify, Pandora,
Yeah.
and I know he likes his Grateful Dead and Widespread Panic, and their stations just dedicated to that. Or,
Well, that's okay.
but anyway, so but I did enjoy the Howard Stern movie when it came out.
Never saw it.
Yeah, I did enjoy
Okay.
it. I don't know that there's much more because I want to say this is, how many issues was this? Do you remember? I want to say it wasn't terribly long.
It's like
Did you
5 or
feel
6.
like?
I felt like it was going to be longer because the number of pages it said it was and the number of pages it was were, because they had a whole bunch of art in the back. Because I was like, oh my God, I got a long way to go. And then I was like, oh, wait, it's over.
Well, they very much left it on a cliffhanger because
Yes, they did.
he fights the crocodile guy. So Flask fights the crocodile guy for this, like, looks like a ceremonial idol or mask that then has a doll inside of it.
Yeah.
And then the horn guy is asking the crocodile guy, Elijah, what happened to it? Oh, freaking hip bit my tail off. Hope he choked on it and took it.
Yeah.
And so there's something going on with this idol or whatever it was. And so that's going to be an ongoing thing. And I don't remember a gosh darn thing about the story arc. I remembered generally what the comic was about, but like I say, this very much made me want to read more and reread this. And I'm shocked with, no, I'm not shocked. I know it's been optioned before for TV, for series. I don't know if it was animated or going to be the CGI. This is something very much I could see translated to something, whether it's a CGI.
I think it would be better to be animated, but yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Just because the amount of money. Well, I mean, to do it right animation, it's going to cost almost as much as to do it right in CGI. So
true. Joe Casey was also writer extraordinaire. Joe Casey, I saw, was also involved in the creation, but I don't know if he was just so busy doing other stuff he didn't actually write it, because he's listed somewhere in the collection I read as a creator of ElephantMen.
I loved the story that Hip told the little girl.
The pirate.
The pirate story. I thought that was brilliant. And I liked that the little girl keeps going and finding, because she had talked in the very first arc, this tiny little girl went up and met the ElephantMen.
Right.
And they talked, and she was adorable. And then he got injured. He got hurt badly. And she found out about it, and then she went to find him, and instead she found Hip, and he was like, he's being taken care of, we're looking after him, and then they're having friends. And so is this little girl keep going in the stories? Because you've read this before. Does she keep being around?
I think so, if I remember right. She's kind of like a connection to humanity, if you will. Or,
okay. Well, she worked really well. I can't say enough about this. I can't really talk a lot about it just because it was very just, hey, let's set this whole scene in this whole world. But it was a great scene. It was a great world. It was well written, and the art, as I said before, was just beautiful.
Yeah, and you know what? And look, not that you poo-poo on art at all, but the fact that stuck out to you, that's how great the art is in this.
Yeah, it
is really well done.
It was not your traditional comic book art. It was almost painted cover type art, but not really. But it just had this. It had a depth to it that you don't get a lot. You don't get as often. I guess you get it more now than you did. Obviously, they just didn't do that back when we were kids reading it. It was on newsprint color.
Right.
We didn't have the glossy paper, so you couldn't get that deep and do stuff, but it looked really good.
And I talked about the sequential storytelling for Kraven's Last Hunt. Same thing in this one. There were some sections where, especially when they're flashing back when they're fighting.
Oh, well, that was the thing. They were making these, part of their brainwashing was survival of the fittest. You are going to learn to be tough, and you are going to learn to kill. And if that means having to kill each other, you're going to kill each other. And they killed each other. They made them sometimes fight to the death.
Yeah.
Two men enter, one man leaves, and that is it was rough. And then they came in. They were trying to make them, when NATO all band up and said, okay, we got to stop this, came in there and were fighting it. The whole time there is a announcer, and they did it so well you could almost hear it in your head, because it's talking about Mappo is your god, you will kill for Mappo, Mappo is your god, we built you to fight, and you will fight for us. And then they came in and they turned on them, and that was they did, because what you are going to turn on them, but they didn't know if they were going to be killed, because then they loaded them on fucking
train cars.
Train cars. Yeah, which, I mean, come on.
That's a bad look.
It's a bad look. And so they were fighting in there with each other, because some of them were like, why aren't we fighting them? They're going to kill us. And they were also like, well, maybe we should. What the fuck? Everything is just awful. It was incredibly well done.
Yeah. No, like you said, there's not much more. I don't want to sound like I'm underselling it. I know you're not. It is probably about 6 issues, I would say, of just introducing. But there's a lot to introduce.
Oh, it's a whole world that you
into
needed.
This world. You find out there's about 15,000. It's mentioned at one point in time in this intro run. There's about 15,000 ElephantMen, which again is a they're not all elephant men. It's just what they coined a term for all the hybrids in the world. So at one point, it's also sad because you find out that they were all, I guess, they don't come out and say it. It seems like they're all male. You don't meet any females.
Seems to be all male.
And I think Horn at one point says that they're all emasculated.
Yes, they were all fixed.
Castrated, something. Yes. So there's that. And at one point, Hip tells the little girl or somebody that, hey, in a few years,
we're all dead,
future,
we're gone.
We're gone, and humanity will rejoice, and we'll all be gone. So it's just there's really good, really really well done. I don't want to sound like I'm patting myself on the back, but I'm glad it held up, because I was kind of like, let's see, sometimes stuff doesn't hold up even from 20 years ago, 15 years ago. This thankfully did. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah, no, well done. I think these were both of them were just really good comics this time.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, I think we talked about 2 comics.
We did. I would like to say today Hav sent me a thing asking if we'd read something, so I went through and looked and checked, and we hadn't read it. And I noticed that according to Apple Podcasts things, we have done, well, it says there's 59, and one's that little joke single I did, and another one's a trailer I put together for that. So it said 59. So we've done 57. So this will be our 58th podcast.
Holy monkey.
Yes.
Then you texted me that, and I knew we had done, I mean, we're in the 4th season, so I knew it was more than a couple, but that kind of not shocked me or surprised me. I didn't realize it was that many. It doesn't feel like it's been nearly that many, which I think is a good thing. Yeah. Because it's still fun to do.
And I didn't figure how many comic books, how many arcs we've done, because there's some bonus episodes in there where we didn't actually read comic books for. So that's not, we can't just double that and say that's how many comic books we've done, but I don't know that.
You know what you should do? You should double it and then divide it by 2 and then double it again. And then take the square root of it and subtract 5.
It's still,
it's just math.
Just for fun.
It's just math.
That is just that you are correct, Tav. That is just math. that would literally tell us nothing about what I was talking about.
It is 10:22, and I'm a little tired, goofy. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. So, 10:22 in the evening, I should say. This is not 10:22 in the AM. But no, that I was like, wow, okay. I kind of did a wow, kind of like what's his face? I kind of feel like I sounded like what's did they do? And never mind. I'm
Keanu
so tired.
Reeves, or do you think you said
No, wow,
oh,
that's so crazy.
Owen Wilson.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. How
That's the extent of. Thank you, everybody. That's my Owen Wilson. One word.
Wow.
Owen Wilson impersonation.
Well, it's well, let me find it. He really has a way of talking. Have I got it yet? I don't think so. All right, let's go on. Yeah, I can't quite hear it. All right. Anywho,
yeah,
this is the time when we decide what we're going to read next time.
And speaking of what I texted you about.
Yes, is that what we're doing?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to suggest Secret Invasion.
Okay, excellent.
Marvel.
Yeah, actually, I had fun with that because what he texted me was, "Have we read Secret Invasion yet?" And I typed, "Don't lie and say yes. Don't lie and say yes." And I go, "No."
For some reason, I know I suggested Illuminati, but we haven't even read like Secret Wars, the newer one. No, we didn't read the one from the 80s. I know that. Did we read Secret War, like the original?
No.
You know how they misnumbered it. We haven't read any of that either, have we?
No, we haven't. We have not read Secret Wars 3.
Yeah. Okay. I know you have problems with the numbering. Okay, so
No.
mine. I'm suggesting Marvel Secret Invasion in just the 8 issues. It's a collection on Hoopla. I'll forward it to you.
Yeah.
And then you?
I've decided that we should. Oh, holy shit! Oh, that was terrifying there for a second. My entire screen blanked for a second. Okay, we're still recording. All right, sorry.
That would have been nice.
Yeah. So yeah, we just had a quick little blip there. And now we're back online here with Hav and Charles Comics. I was about to tell y'all what I was going to suggest, which is a Darth Vader run on Marvel Comics. It starts literally right at the end of Revenge of the Sith, where he's being told by Emperor Palpatine that Padme is dead and he is now Darth Vader. And it's going to be how he really becomes Darth Vader. Right as the Empire is first there. And
I am looking forward to this.
It's good. I've read it before, and I've read the entire. Because I got back on. I had to go to, in order to find it, I went on to Marvel. First, I went on to Marvel Unlimited, and I found it, and I realized I've read the whole thing. But we'll read the first arc, and there's one on Hoopla that's just the whole one, which we can do, and I'll send that to you. And it's cool. It's Star Wars, and it's Darth Vader.
Yay!
Yeah. And you know how much I love rooting for the anti-hero. Oh, wait, that's not me. But still, it's Darth Vader in Star Wars. So.
And I'm always a fan of Star Trek, so there's that.
Yeah.
Nothing? I didn't pull you off sides at all on that, did I?
Why would you pull me off sides on that?
I've been looking for, speaking of Star Trek, I know Star Wars is now Marvel, back to the Marvel family. Is for, obviously because of Disney and all that. But I've been trying to find some Star Trek stuff on Hoopla, and gosh darn it, it's I found some stuff, but nothing. Anyways, well, I'm very excited. Okay, good deal. Well, hey, I know we're towards the end here. Thank you all for everybody for hanging on this long. Thank you so much for listening. Like we always say, like I always say, I'm not going to speak for Charles. He kind of doesn't like you very much sometimes. I really appreciate y'all. And I got him. I got Charles to laugh. Hey, I know that was a joke, everybody. Thank you all for listening, Charles. Like I always say, and I really, 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 really mean it. Thank you for doing all the heavy lifting, the producing, the editing, the publishing of the podcast. Patrick, thank you for doing the website and doing everything you do and the theme music. Thank you all for listening.
I really do appreciate all of you that listen. I'm assuming some of you actually do. I have so much fun doing this podcast. Anytime it seems like I don't like any of you, it's not you, it's me I don't like. So, so until the next time, thank you very much. Thank you, Hav, for doing this with me. Thanks, Patrick. Y'all have a great evening, day, morning, whatever you are, and goodbye.